Welcome back. This is lesson 10.8 journal. We're going to talk about changing dimensions. I will be able to compare areas that are in 1 unit to different, sorry, this shouldn't be compare, convert. I will be able to convert areas that are in 1 unit to a different unit. I will also be able to compare the size of the shape and compare the size of the area. So vocabulary for this lesson. Congruent means exactly the same size and exactly the same shape. Area is the space inside measured in square units on a two-dimensional figure. Dimension is a measurement that you can measure distance on, like length or width or height. A right angle is a 90-degree angle or a square corner. Base is the measurement that makes a perpendicular or right angle with the height. They're things that you might measure for dimensions, like to find area. Parallelogram is a four-sided figure with 2 sets of parallel sides. Triangle has 3 sides, and a trapezoid has at least 1 set of parallel sides. Alright, Phyllis is enlarging a 4-inch by 5-inch photo by tripling its dimensions. What will its new area be? How many times larger is this than the area of the original photo? Alright, first thing, if you could draw a picture, draw a picture. Now, I've already given you a rectangle here, but I want you, if this was just a story problem without anything else, draw a picture. It takes you an extra 10 seconds, but I promise it helps so much for thinking about the problem. So we're going from 4 inches by 5 inches. So 4 inches would be the smaller side. 5 inches would be the larger side. So on this one, if we're tripling its dimensions, that means this is going to be 4 times 3. This is going to be 5 times 3. So in other words, this side is going to be 15 inches. This side is going to be 12 inches. So 4 times 5, the original area of this one would be 20 inches squared. So the area of this new one would be 15 times 12. And 15 times 12, let's see what we get. 2 times 5 is 10, regroup 1. 2 times 1 is 2, plus 1 more is 3. 0 placeholder, 1 times 5 is 5. 1 times 1 is 1, add it up. And we get 180. So the area of this one is 180 inches squared. Now, how many times greater is this than this? What can I do to 20 to turn it into 180? So the original is 20 inches squared. The new one is 180 inches squared. I would have to times this by 9 in order to make it 180. So here's this new area. Oh, make sure you put squared on those. We're talking about area. But it's 9 times larger. Well, I want you to look at something. I times this by 3, and I times this by 3. So when I multiplied those together, didn't I just take the original dimensions and times it by 3 twice, which gives you the same thing as timesing by 9? So because we multiplied this by 3 and this by 3, it was the same as multiplying it by 3 to the 2nd power. Alright, let's try this next one. Chris wants to make a smaller model of his triangular artwork. The original has a base of 18 feet and a height of 6 feet. Okay, this is a right triangle. So the base is 18 feet. And the height is 6 feet. I know this isn't to scale, but it at least gives us a visual idea of what this looks like. His new version will have dimensions that are half of the original dimensions. So half of 18 would be 9, so this would be 9 feet. And half of this would be 3 feet. It says, what will its new area be? How will this new area compare to the area of the original? Well, let's find the area of the original. Area equals base times height, then half of that. So we could times by 1/2 or divide by 2. 18 times 6, I don't know right now. 6 times 8 is 48. Regroup 4. 6 times 1 is 6, plus 4 more is 10. So that's 108. Divide by 2, that's going to give me 54. So 54 feet squared is the area of the original. So the area of this one, 9 times 3, then half of that. 9 times 3 is 27, and half of 27, I can't do it in my head. 2 goes into 2 one time, minus 2 gives me 0. Bring down the 7. 2 goes into 7 3 times, minus 6 gives me 1. Decimal, bring it down. 2 goes into 10 5 times. So we get 13.5 feet squared. So we got the original, we got the new one. Well, it wants to know how this new area will compare to the area of the original. Well, if I were to take the original, if I'm making a ratio of new to the original, I would put 13.5 on top over 54. So if I were to divide that, that's going to give me 0.25. Or in other words, in a fraction, 1/4. So that means the new one is 1/4 of the old one. Well, now think about this with me. Didn't we cut this in half? So really this is 18 times 1/2. Is how we got this one. And then here we did 6 times 1/2. What's 1/2 times 1/2? 1/4. So I can only find the area if all dimensions are in the same units. So notice up here, this was in inches and this was in inches. This was in feet and this was in feet. So what if you have something like this? Riley has a rectangular quilt that measures 6 feet by 36 inches. What is the area in square feet? I can't find square feet unless I have all my measurements in feet. So draw a simple picture about this. And we're just going to turn everything into feet. Because I want square feet, I'm going to turn this inches into feet. So 6 feet will be here. 36 inches, if I convert that into feet, I'm going to divide that by 12, which would give me 3. So that would be the same as 3 feet. So to find the area of this, 6 feet times 3 feet is going to give me 18 feet squared. But do you see how we had to first turn it into feet so we could find square feet? Make sure that your measurements are in the same unit before you try and figure it out. Now this one says, Nick's rectangular backyard has an area of 432 square feet. If the length of his yard is 8 yards, what is the width in yards? Okay, I got square feet. I know how to find area. This would be length times width. But if this is an 8, I can't be using 8 because I've got square feet to begin with. But I want my final answer in yards. So, draw a basic picture. I know inside here is 432 feet squared. If this is 8 yards, I don't need that right now because I need feet because that's what my area is given in. So I'm going to turn 8 yards into feet first. So 8 times 3 gives me 24. So that'd be the same as 24 feet. Now if I can find this other side, I can turn it back into yards. But since this was given in feet, I need to make sure I deal with the same units so that my math is accurate. So to get area, it's length times width. I don't know this one over here yet, but I can divide the area by this to figure it out. So 432 divided by 24, because that's where my 8 yards turn into feet came from. 24 goes into 43 once, so minus 24 gives me a 3 here. 13 minus 4 is 9. 3 minus 2 is 1. Bring down the 2. 24 goes into 192. I don't know, so I'm going to have to make some educated guesses here. I'm guessing about 8 times. Why do I guess 8 times? Because 25 times 8 is 200, and that's pretty close. So 24 times 8, let's see what we get. 8 times 4 is 32. We group 3. 8 times 2 is 16, plus 3 more is 19. There we go, that's perfect. So I'm going to put an 8 up here, minus 192, leaves me with 0. So I got that the other side is 18 feet, but it doesn't ask for the width in feet, it asks for the width in yards. I've done the hard part, turning this into yards. I'm just going to divide it by 3 to turn into yards. 18 feet divided by 3 would give me 6, so it would be the same as 6 yards. Okay, just a couple of ways to think about area when you're changing size or changing units. Rate yourself on this concept, 0, 1, 2, 3, or 4. Take a picture and turn it in on Google Classroom.